Bible is a sacred text that has been a cornerstone of faith for millions of people around the world. However, in today's world, it's becoming increasingly difficult to learn the true lessons of the Bible from mainstream media. Mainstream media often prioritizes sensationalism and ratings over accuracy and depth, which can lead to a distorted view of biblical teachings. The media's tendency to cherry-pick and take scriptures out of context can be misleading, and their failure to provide historical and cultural context can lead to a lack of understanding of the biblical narrative. One of the primary reasons why mainstream media fails to convey the true lessons of the Bible is that they often focus on controversy and scandal rather than substance. News outlets and talk shows frequently debate and analyze the most contentious issues related to the Bible, such as creationism vs. evolution, gay rights, and abortion. While these topics are important, they do not represent the entirety of the biblical message. The media's emphasis on controversy creates a narrow and skewed perspective, giving the impression that the Bible is primarily about rules, judgment, and division. Furthermore, mainstream media often relies on pundits and commentators who are not biblical scholars or experts in theology. These individuals may have a limited understanding of the biblical text and its historical context, which can lead to misinterpretation and misinformation. For instance, a news anchor may quote a biblical verse without explaining its cultural and historical background, leading to a superficial understanding of the scripture. This lack of expertise can result in a watered-down or inaccurate representation of biblical teachings, which can be confusing and misleading for viewers. Additionally, the media's soundbite culture can be detrimental to understanding the complexities of the Bible. News programs and social media platforms often prioritize brief, sensational quotes over in-depth analysis and discussion. This format can reduce the richness and depth of biblical teachings to simplistic and misleading headlines. The Bible is a complex and multifaceted text that requires careful study and reflection to fully comprehend its message. The media's emphasis on brevity and sensationalism can make it difficult for viewers to engage with the biblical text in a meaningful way. The 24-hour news cycle also contributes to the superficial coverage of biblical issues. News outlets feel pressure to constantly produce content, which can lead to a lack of thorough research and analysis. As a result, stories about the Bible are often reported in a cursory and superficial manner, without providing adequate context or depth. This can create a sense of familiarity with biblical concepts without actually conveying their significance or meaning. The rapid pace of the news cycle can also create a sense of urgency and immediacy, which can be at odds with the reflective and contemplative nature of biblical study. Finally, the commercialization of mainstream media can also hinder our understanding of the Bible. Advertisers and sponsors often dictate the type of content that is produced, which can result in a watered-down or sanitized version of biblical teachings. The media's reliance on revenue and ratings can lead to a reluctance to engage with difficult or challenging aspects of the Bible, such as its teachings on poverty, justice, and compassion. The commercialization of mainstream media can create a culture of conformity and superficiality, which can be antithetical to the radical and transformative message of the Bible. In conclusion, learning the true lessons of the Bible from mainstream media is a challenging task. The media's emphasis on controversy, sensationalism, and brevity can create a distorted view of biblical teachings, while their lack of expertise and reliance on soundbites can lead to misinformation and superficiality. The commercialization of mainstream media can also hinder our understanding of the Bible, as advertisers and sponsors often dictate the type of content that is produced. To truly understand the Bible, it's essential to engage with the text directly, through prayer, study, and reflection, rather than relying on mainstream media for interpretation and analysis. By doing so, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the richness and complexity of the biblical message, and apply its teachings to our lives in a meaningful and transformative way.